Hey there, everybody. It's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of All the Queen's Men, Season 4, Episode 6, Gas Face. And that gas face knocked all the VIP dancers out. I'm telling you, it was horrible. So, the synopsis for this episode reads Blue opens up about her past trauma. This is true. Detective Davis makes headway on Madam through an unexpected death, and an attack on Eden puts some high profile dancers in a dangerous position. And this is so true. But before we get started, if you're new here, if you're returning here and have not subscribed to this channel as of yet, please take a moment right now, hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and select all, and it'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you smash that like button, which is the thumbs up button, write a comment and join our conversation, and then share, because sharing is caring. And I'm asking y'all to share my video for the new year, for the holiday, for seasons greetings. Help a sister's channel grow. I need 200 more subscribers by the end of the year to meet my goal, and I can only do it with you guys. So come on, rally in there and help a sister meet her goal. We got to stick together, y'all. Come on. Anyhow, this episode starts off with concierge watching over his female workers, and they're all wearing only bras and panties and stuff. And he's talking to some guy named Victor or whatever, and he's asking him, is this everything? And he said it's all that they could get back or whatever. And it looked like the girls are cutting up or packaging his product, you know what I mean? As he's talking to Victor, I guess he's the guy in charge, and asking him to get the product ready for transport. And after he finished with him, his phone rings, and it's Madam. She's getting a massage, and he asks her, what does she want? And she's basically teasing him and getting on his last nerve, if you ask me. And he gets frustrated and says, what do you want, Marilyn? And she's like, I just called to say, checkmate, mother effer. And she hung up, and he just stood there. And I was like, what is she checkmating against? It must have been something she did last week. Anyhow, oh, with his product, I guess that's what it was. So now we see Madam, Carla, and Tony. They're meeting in the dance area at Club Eaton. And Carla had her say about Tony not coming to their father's funeral and her not deserving to get Maddie B's as an inheritance. And Tony mentioned that her mother got, I know my mother got special treatment from their father, and she was hoping to salvage a relationship with her sisters. But Carla and Madam wasn't trying to hear it, and they all decided to remain enemies. I was like, I hear that. But from what Tony's saying, I guess their mother didn't get treated right, even though here they are the ones there for their father, and Tony is the one who snitched on their father after her mother was getting the special treatment. Ain't that a lot of nerve? You know what I mean? So I understand why they mad. So now we have Blue, or Belinda, is back meeting with the therapist, who asks, Blue questions to find out, what's wrong. But although Blue is sharing a bit, it's hard for her to really open up to tell her personal business, because Blue's pretty private. So she apologizes, and she tells the therapist that she's not trying to be difficult, and the therapist understood. So now we see El Fuego trying to find out some information online, but we aren't sure, what it is. And I was like, what is he trying to find out? But later, and while he's talking out loud, I'm going to say it's an Alexa app. His Alexa speaks back to him and says something. He said, you always listening. You always got something to say. And then he said, wait a minute, always listening. And he rolled Alexa back to, I guess, the day that he found the girlfriend in the bed dead. And the Alexa was letting him hear these two men who were talking in there, and how they were waiting for him to show up, how they had shot the girl in the bed, but they didn't let us hear any signs of them supposedly having sex with her. So I was wondering about that part. They didn't show anything or say anything about it, but that was all we heard about it in this episode. So now we see Doc walking up into the precinct, and he starts flirting with a worker there named Naima, telling her she got a pretty smile and a pretty name and a pretty laugh and all of this stuff. So he invites her out to lunch with him, but she says she can't because she's the only one there in her department all the time. So Doc is like, all the time by yourself? Oh, that's terrible. So he said, maybe you should come down to the club and see me dance. She was like, I've never gone to a strip club before. He said, oh no, we're exotic dancers or something like that, he said. So he said, come on down. I'll take care of it. You'll be my guest. And she giggles and asks what time should she be there. But he never says. He just smiles and walks away and leaves. And she starts fanning herself because she got hot and excited. Then we see a scene with Detective Davis. It seems as she's at a hospital and she's asking the CSI agent if there were any witnesses, and then she walks away. I guess that's where Tommy killed was it Dr. Fong? I'm assuming that's where it was. So now we have Madam's attorney Terry Levitt showing up at her home to let her know that a trial date has been set. And he tells her it would be best if they can like push the date back. And he gives her reasons why. So she agrees to him pushing it back. And she was very surprised at how quick they set this date. So they really trying to get her, honestly. So then she calls Tommy about her prescription, and he informs her that it'll be hard to get her a new doctor because her name is in a database marked as a potential abuser because Dr. Fong has frequently been filling her prescriptions. And she is pissed about that. So Tommy said what he did was went into a pharmacy and said he had all these things wrong with him. And they gave him a bunch of prescriptions. So he had a bag full and dumped them in there. And she started reading the labels and said, okay, I could take this one and I could use this one. So I said, Tommy is crazy. He is so funny. Anyway, now we have Amp and Dime. They're out eating at Maddie B's, and she's not very hungry because everything she's been eating lately has been giving her indigestion. Hello, anybody who says we think Dime might be pregnant, and if she is it by Amp or is it by Big D? But this is happening real quick because she just slept with both of them, 2 days ago? A week ago? So I don't know. I mean, it doesn't take that long, but how's she already getting morning sickness or whatever sickness she's feeling? Anywho, all of a sudden, Tony walks up and says, Amp, Allison, so good to see you both here. And I'm thinking, when did we ever know that Dime's name is Allison? I put it down in the comment section if you've ever known them to mention Dime's first name as Allison, because I sure didn't know it. And how does Tony know it? She just met her the other day. You know what I mean? Anyway, he tells her he's not ready to talk to her and can she please leave them alone. And she finally leaves after she tries to encourage him. I'll cook your favorite meals for you. And he's like, I don't eat like that anymore. And I was like, when she leave, Dime get involved again. I said, Dime, stop getting involved. And he said the same thing. He said, Dime, everything that's broken can't be fixed. And I have to agree with that. Then Dime asked him to give his mother a chance. And he asked why she's so invested in this. And she shares that her mother died when she was young and she'd give anything to have her back. And he said, oh, I didn't know. He said, how come you just now telling me this? And she's like, I don't share everything. But then you want him to share everything, but you don't tell everything. So you need to understand what he's going through with his mother, if you ask me. Y'all put it down in the comment section if y'all think that as well. So she asks him, will he consider talking to his mother for her? And I'm like, it's not about you, Dime. It's about him and his mother. Your mother didn't leave you, abandon you, stranded you, whatever. His mother did. It's two different things. Some people, relationships don't always work. So you need to stop pushing, if you ask me. Back it up, Dime. Back it up, girl. So now we have Face. He's entering Club Eden and Quincy comes running in behind him asking about his car and saying he's legendary out there and wants to hang out with him. And Face told him to get out of his face with that gay-ish, And now we see Fuego and Big D, they chatting about people he's looking for, that he has a beef with. And D is offering backup to Fuego if needed. And then said, no disrespect, but you don't seem like you about that life. And Fuego was like, no disrespect taken, I'm not. But I'm open to any help and assistance I could get. And D said, just let me know when and where, I'll be there. I was cracking up. Now we have trouble in the amateur locker room, feeling on herself when Rayshawn walks in, and he's keeping to himself, but she keeps feeling on him. And he looks at her and asks, "What's up with her eyes?" And she said, "It's just a little Molly." And she said, "It's not drugs." And he said, "No, I don't do no drugs." But she keeps offering some to him and he keeps saying no. Now, out in the main dance area, we see Doc walking up to Naima and he offers to get her a drink and then puts a pill in it. And I'm like, why did he do that to her? What is the purpose of him drugging Naima? Now, back in the VIP locker room now, Midnight is telling Amp D and Fuego about Renee's domination fantasy. And they don't get it at all. They ain't down with it. But then after Doc walks in, that female whom I haven't seen on the show in a while, she walks in and asks who needs her services. And Midnight volunteers, like, cool. And he had her give him head right there in the room, wouldn't even go to a private back room nowhere. And then Faith come in, they tease him about his crush, Quincy. And Faith said, F y'all. And while that's all happening, they're laughing, you see smoke coming through the VIP locker room vents. Then we see out in the main area, Naima is bugging out from that pill that Doc put in her drink, and Trouble is behaving poorly as well to the female clients at Eden. When Madam sees her, she goes over there and pulls her to the side, asking, "What the F are you doing?" And she suspends her. And Trouble was pissed. And then Trouble went to the locker room and was packing up her stuff, upset about her suspension. And she looks into Quincy's locker and she sees pictures of Babyface taped all inside of his locker, and she's laughing at it, thinking it's funny. Next, we have Dime. She's doing her introduction for the Men of Eden, and she's like, "The Men of Eden," and no one comes out. So Blue goes back there to the VIP locker room and finds them all passed out. She covers her nose and runs out to tell Dime to put the amateur dancers on stage. And then she told Tommy and Madam about the guys. And as Dime is announcing it, Quincy hears that and runs out there real quick fast, stepping over Ray Sean. And he's like, "Where you going?" And he's like, "I'm going to get mine. So he goes out there and he's the only one on the freaking dance stage. Quincy was cleaning up. He took an opportunity and made it work for him. Meanwhile, Blue, Tommy are getting the dancers outside, because when Madam went back there and saw it, she was losing her daggone mind. So they got them outside into fresh air to clear their lungs and stuff, and they all seemed to be all right. Then she had them get ready to perform so that the females out there don't tear her club apart with them not dancing tonight. So they got themselves together and went out there. Meanwhile, Madam asked, "How did this happen?" And Blue said, "It was a retaliation attack from Concierge." And Madam was livid, asking, how was her club infiltrated again? And told Blue that she and Tommy better get their heads out of their ASSs and find a better way to secure her club. Someone could have gotten killed. And at that moment, Tommy came over carrying that female who was giving Night head. And he said, "She's dead." And Madam tells Blue to take that female home and make it look like she died in her house, in her apartment. And she said, okay. But before Blue could leave for that, we see Naima coming by, bugging out again. Since Madam couldn't calm her down, she knocked her out and told them to call an ambulance because she's obviously high off of something. I was dying. That was so funny. She like, pop, knocked her to the floor. Meanwhile, back at the precinct, Detective Davis is upset because the security cameras at the hospital weren't operated when Dr. Fong was killed. And she's telling D.A. Rods about it, and they both believe it was done by Madam, and said, add Dr. Fong to the list of people that Madam have killed or had something to do with dying. Let's put it that way. So now it's the end of the day, and the guys are tipping out, and Madam wants to speak to them. That's when Quincy comes out with his stack, saying, "Sorry, I'm late." And Diamond's like, "Damn, Quincy, you made more than Babyface." And the guys all started laughing because they know he got this crush on Babyface. But I ain't gonna lie to y'all, for a minute, I thought Quincy could have been behind that gas leak, trying to get his opportunity to go out there and dance and make some money, be the only one on stage. I don't know why I thought that, but it went in my mind. I just want y'all to know. So now we see a scene with Carla. She goes to Maddie B's to ask Tony why she's really back. And Tony says, she's different now and she shouldn't have allowed herself to be controlled by anybody, and says she's here to collect her inheritance and fix her relationship with Amp. And Tony wants Carla to talk to Marilyn for her so they could all get along. And Carla's told her, hell no, it's never going to happen because she said, I don't like or trust you either. And then she said several more choice words for Tony, but I was just being kind with the part that I just told y'all. I just want y'all to know I had to be clean for you two. Anyway, then after she left, Tony made a call to someone stating that she's getting a little resistance from her sisters, but it was to be expected, but that everything is going according to plan, and soon Madam will be out of the picture and you'll get everything you've wanted all along. So who y'all think she's working along with? Put it down in the comment section. She either working along with concierge or she's working along with that greedy husband or something, that husband of hers who was controlling her, that Amp doesn't like, because I see this happening now, that Diamond's pushing him to get a relationship with his mother, but his mother's only there to try to get people to help her and make it seem like she's changed so she could take away whatever from Madam. What do y'all think about that? Tell me down in the comment section. And then it ends with Madam putting a razor to the concierge's neck and throat while he was getting some sort of facial, I presume. His face was wrapped with a hot towel, and then it looks like the lady is turning him around, but it's Madam, and she takes the towel off and she got a blade right at his throat. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode down in the comment section, and I will see you all in the next video. I really thought it was a good episode. Hopefully y'all did too. Happy holiday seasons, greetings, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year's to all of y'all. Happy Hanukkah and Happy Kwanzaa. It's your girl Barbie J saying please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Subscribe and help my channel grow. Peace.